This holster can fit both my Glock 17 Gen 4 and my Walther P99. And the cool thing is, it can probably fit your gun too. We'll get into why that is in just a second. This holster costs between 15 to 20 euros, depending on what colorway you get, so multicam or a kind of solid color. And I've thrown myself onto this holster more than I'd like to admit. Either on purpose because I wanted to quickly move around the corner to kill an enemy. Hey, post-production blowing here. I just wanted to stress that I'm not exaggerating here. I've literally done sideways dolphin dives like I'm in fucking Call of Duty just to get a kill, and I landed right on my holster. So please don't underestimate the lengths that I will go to just to get a kill. Or because I just could not walk. But it held up fine for almost more than a year now. So let's talk about why a universal holster isn't just a cheap option, but genuinely makes sense for you. Now, this holster works by holding the gun at the trigger guard, which is this thing right here. And as long as the trigger guard is the right width, and this gun isn't like overly huge, it will probably fit in the holster. Now, there's a whole list on the product listing of this holster, what guns it can take. But from Walther over H&K, all the way to Glock, it can probably take all of the guns that you own. But why not a Safariland holster? Well, most Safariland holsters work by holding the gun at the weapon-mounted light. Now, in some countries, weapon-mounted lights are illegal, such as Germany, where I live. But another reason is that, for most people, I think pistol lights are kind of overkill or useless for airsoft. The second reason is that a universal holster just makes more sense for airsofters, because airsofters like guns. If you like guns, you likely have a lot of guns, and also a lot of pistols. And building out a separate belt setup for each pistol can get also expensive and also just take up more and more space in your kit closet. Now, I know the Safariland QLS system exists to where you can quickly detach and attach holsters to a drop-leg plate. However, just buying another holster for every gun you have can also get quite expensive and annoying. So a universal holster, just in my opinion, makes sense because you avoid the hassle, avoid all of the space in your room taken up, and the money spent on different holsters. Another thing that I like about this holster is that it is a middle finger release. So this little lever right here, when pushed inwards, will release the trigger guard and thereby release the gun. And if you go down into a grip to, pull out the pistol, that will probably be your middle finger. Now, why do I like this specifically? Well, most Glock holsters or any kind of holster in this price range usually is a index finger release. So the release button is on the outside of the holster that you have to reach with your index finger. This, number one, makes for a way slower draw time than, for example, the thumb release on a Safariland holster or the middle finger release on this holster. And it also gives you a less stable firing grip when actually drawing the pistol, which, number one, just makes the overall draw slower, but also makes the split times, so the time in between shots, slower, because if you have recoil, you need to readjust your grip or, your angle more because your grip is poor just from the draw. So index finger releases are subpar compared to any other release. And while this thing is not on the same level as a thumb release like the Safariland style holsters, it is one clean and fast motion. And I think we can all appreciate clean and fast motions, if you catch my drift here. But holsters alone don't mount to a belt. Well, most don't, and I wouldn't recommend that anyway, because then the ride height would be too high. So, what is my setup? Starting out with what actually connects to my belt, a Repro Tune-Off Concepts drop-leg plate. What I like about this thing is that it's way slimmer and also not as bulky as the Safariland mounts that you tend to see that are like made out of plastic, which I really don't like. Another pro is that it has many different mounting options for any kind of angle or holster mounting system that you could possibly wish for. Sandwiched in between the leg plate and the holster is a Repro Safariland QLS system. Now granted, this one doesn't work as well because the screws are, I guess, too long, which just blocks the QLS system from sliding off entirely. And I'm too lazy to shim the screws down to actually make this work because I don't need the QLS system to work. LARP, holy shit. And speaking of sandwiches, in between the QLS system and the Tune-Off Concepts leg plate, I have my leg strap, which is a thin, I think 1-inch multicam strap with a little bungee part to allow for more flexibility. Now, the design of this leg strap is really nice because it's not only lightweight and thin, taking up less space on your leg, but also because it can sit kind of tight and is this thin, it doesn't slide up or down into spaces where a leg strap shouldn't slide into during fast movements, if you again catch my drift here. Now, if you have any experience with this holster or any other holsters that you would like to add to the discussion, please do so down below in the comments, because that will help the people looking for solutions more than this video alone will ever do. If you want to nerd out about gear or need help with your gear, join the Discord down below. Loads of cool people on there. Anyways, that's it for today. See you on Friday. LARP.